Hello, Math 530 people. I thought I would try to give a little bit more instruction on how this heat equation on the ring problem works. So again, this is the code that you can download off the website. You should read these statements here about sometimes, it seems about half the time, something hangs on my graphics that the plots don't seem to be changing, so make sure they're changing before you save them. And there's a little piece here about how you can convert the files to MP4 if you wish. But let's start with the code briefly. So this guitarist command is defined down below, and for the moment, don't worry about it. You should be happy with these statements. Several of you had asked about what's happening here. Here we're just redefining psi to be sine of psi, so that we'll give a sort of continuous color scheme on the torus, so it looks realistic. Here you want to change the name to something, and particularly you want to change it each time you run the code, so you get a different file name. And we'll scroll down a bit. So you'll change this when you run your code on multiple instances, and you'll change this to various initial values. This is the default initial, I should say the word initial here. Heat and color function, and we want to change this. That change is going to affect this f, but that is already taken into account. So this will sort of reflect that change immediately. When you start adding new forcing functions, you'll get a new line like this one that will be below here, and it'll be the same sort of Fourier business as usual, and that will affect the solution in the end, which is the Fourier coefficients, in this case, times this negative exponential times the basis functions. Now, this is all coming from the last example in, I think this is 6.3, and so you should be able to, by now, by hand, produce a general solution for these types of problems. And for each case, you want to code in by hand the solution in these lines, and then you'll sum them up and plot them below. Now here we create an AVI file using this command. We do some plotting, we display some things, and we grab a frame and we feed this frame into the movie that we're creating, which we use this add frame, and then the close function that closes it and saves the file. Now, what should happen is we should be able to, where's the title of this thing? Heat equation on the torus. We should be able to save this, go over, run our code, fix any bugs that we have. That seems to be always the case, doesn't it? Of course, you probably saw that coming. And run the code. I've set it to plot 5 seconds, just so it, I think 5, just so it finishes quickly. You can see here this color's not changing, so I'm going to stop this and start again. You tell me why that happens, and we'll both be happy. So this one seems to work better, and we'll wait for it to finish. And then what's happening as it closes is that it saves a file, heat equation on the torus ex. And so indeed you can see that this file, ls dot AVI, and you can see that that thing lives here. And so what should be, what I thought would be able to happen was that we could be able to check the fact that we should be able to watch this movie. But in the end, something's going fishy here. So, yeah, this is the fishy part. So, what I did was wrote this, well, copied this part, changed 2 or 3 things, and made it to a function so that you can pass to it a file name and a frame rate, and it will play it for you, and you can make sure that you're doing it right. And so let's call this one, we called our thing underscore EX, and we'll play it at the same rate as we recorded it, and boom, there it is. So I think this will help you make sure that you're doing it right. Make sure you know you're creating an AVI file that's good. So in fact, you don't have to worry about this conversion business unless you are concerned about putting it on the web or something. I can make sure you've sort of produced something that looks good. Just I can check your movies in Matlab using this load and play function, and you can check them as well. You can find this load and play function on the website. Here's my fix. There you go. So that's found here at the standard website. I think it's the PDE videos link. Okay. Good night.